A woman in a torn wedding dress speaks directly to the viewer with calm certainty and a terrifying edge. She explains her rules about loyalty and betrayal, and how she hunts for what she believes is hiding behind ordinary smiles. As the night deepens, she moves through abandoned places, chapels, hospitals, and empty streets, pulling others into her orbit, testing them, and shaping fear into a plan that feels bigger than one person. The closer she gets to the final step, the more you realize she isn't just angry. She's organized, relentless, and convinced she is right. Chapter 1. The dress I never took off. You're here. Good. Stay with me. People always click away when they feel exposed. They pretend it's boredom, but it's fear. And fear is honest. So watch until the end, because if you miss one piece, you'll misunderstand me. And that mistake is the one thing I never forgive. Look at me. Not the dress. Not the stains. Look at my face. This was supposed to be a beginning. White fabric, soft music, a promise. That was the story they sold me. But stories are for people who can afford to be naive. I learned something simple. Most people lie when it benefits them, and then they smile like the lie is clean. They call it flirting. They call it just talking. They call it didn't mean anything. Different words, same disease. Betrayal is not an accident. It is a choice you make when you think you won't be caught. So I started watching. I listened. I kept my voice gentle. I let people confess without even knowing they were confessing. And when I finally understood the pattern, I did what nobody else had the courage to do. I stopped begging for honesty. I started collecting it. Chapter 2. My rules are simple. I'm not chaotic. Don't insult me with that word. Chaos is sloppy. Chaos is loud. Chaos wastes energy. I have rules. Rule 1. If you can betray someone who trusts you, you will betray anyone. That means you are unsafe. Not maybe. Not one day. Already. Rule 2. If you hide what you want, you will hurt people to get it. Quietly. Slowly. With excuses. You will call it miscommunication while you drain someone dry. Rule 3. If you swear loyalty out loud, but you live like you owe nobody anything, then you don't deserve mercy. You deserve consequences you can't talk your way out of. People hear consequences and think I mean a lecture, a breakup, a public message, a canceled plan. No, I mean the moment you realize your body is not in control anymore. I mean the moment your voice turns useless. And I mean the silence afterward when the world keeps spinning like you were never important at all. That's the truth underneath every pretty promise. Nobody is coming to save you. That's why I saved myself. Chapter 3. The city is full of masks. At night, the city shows its real face. Windows glow like little stages. People perform kindness, perform love, perform loyalty. They post their smiles. They send their hearts. They swear they are different. And then they step into the dark and become what they always were. I walk where the lights flicker, where the air smells like old rain and metal, where footsteps speed up when someone hears mine. I don't chase everyone. I don't need to. The guilty ones recognize me, not because they've seen my face, but because they know the feeling. That cold pinch in the stomach, that sudden need to explain themselves, that urge to turn the conversation into a joke. They carry their fear like a second spine. Sometimes I bring help, not because I need protection, because I like witnesses. I like someone standing close enough to see that I never hesitate. A person who understands that this isn't about rage. It's about control. Control is the only thing that never cheated on me. When I lift my blade, it isn't for drama. It's a decision. Clean. Final. Like signing a name at the bottom of a contract. And the city, with all its noise, goes quiet in its own way. Because deep down, everyone knows there are bills you can't pay with apologies. Chapter 4. Mercy is a myth people sell. Mercy is just a story weak people tell to make themselves feel safe. They want to believe the world is fair, They want to believe if they cry the right way, if they say the right words, if they promise to change, then the knife will stop. But mercy is not a law of nature. Nature doesn't care if you're sorry. Fire doesn't pause because you learned your lesson. Water doesn't hold you up because you meant well. So why should I? I've heard every excuse. I've heard people blame their childhood, their stress, their loneliness. I've heard them say they didn't know what they were doing while they did it again and again. They call it mistakes. I call it practice. And practice makes you good at being cruel. I don't need to scream. I don't need to prove anything. The moment you realize I'm not moved by your fear, you understand the difference between someone who threatens and someone who acts. Here's what really scares people, not pain, certainty. When you stand in front of someone who is certain, your words stop working. Your charm stops working. Your history stops working. All that's left is time running out, and I am very patient. Chapter 5. The vow that comes after the kiss. I used to think vows were romantic. Now I know vows are weapons. They are lines you draw. They are doors you lock. They are the point where you stop being available for other people's excuses. My vow is not about love. Love is too easy to fake. My vow is about truth. I will keep walking into the places people hide the worst parts of themselves. I will keep listening for the cracks in their stories. I will keep watching for the moment their mask slips, the moment they show what they really are. And when they do, I won't argue. I won't beg. I won't heal. I will decide, because the world is full of predators who learn to smile. And if you don't believe that, it only means you've been lucky, or protected, or useful. But luck runs out. Protection breaks. Usefulness expires. So listen carefully. If you take anything from my voice tonight, take this. I am not looking for everyone. I'm looking for the ones who think they can betray and still be called good. And I always find them. If you made it to the end, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and hit like so you don't miss the next story. Comment what you think the narrator's real rule is, and share this video with a friend who loves dark horror monologues.